Okay, so if you think the future of education is just going to be classrooms with fancier tablets, you might want to think again. What we're talking about here isn't just a simple tech upgrade, it's a massive platform shift, the kind of change that can make an entire institution's core purpose just kind of evaporate, even while the buildings themselves are still standing.
Now, that's a pretty bold statement, right? Let's unpack that. The real competition isn't another campus across town. It's an AI that's on 24/7, speaks every language, can adapt to any student, and literally gets smarter with every single interaction. This intelligence factory, it doesn't need a campus. And that, my friends, changes the whole game.
You see, the university as we know it was designed for a totally different world, a world where knowledge was rare, hard to get, and super expensive. It was locked away. Well, that world, it's completely gone. Today, computers aren't just finding information for us, they're generating brand new capabilities, and that simple fact just rearranges everything.
So to really get what's happening, we have to ask a really basic question. What is a university actually selling? I mean, if you strip away all the tradition, the beautiful campuses, what is the core product?
For centuries, it's been a brilliant business model, basically a three-for-one deal. First, you get access to knowledge from experts. Second, you get access to a network of smart, ambitious people. And third, you get that all-important piece of paper, the credential that employers trust. You had to go to one place to get all three.
And this is where AI comes into the picture. It's not just another tool. It's a force that is systematically, almost surgically, taking that three-part bundle apart, piece by piece. So how's it doing that? This brings us to a really crucial idea. When you can essentially manufacture intelligence, turn data and electricity into useful thinking whenever you want, you don't just have a better library, you have a factory. And if you look at history, factories change society way more than schools do. So the first piece of that bundle to fall away is the university's role as the main gatekeeper of knowledge. I mean, why would you sit in a giant lecture hall, which is basically a very old technology, when you can have a personal AI tutor that can explain anything a million different ways with endless patience at 3 in the morning? All of a sudden, the lecture looks like the slowest, most inefficient way to learn anything.
And this change completely rewrites our whole approach to our careers. The old model, stuff your brain for 4 years, then go work for 40, that's starting to seem totally irrational. The new model is continuous. You work and you learn at the same time forever. Learning becomes part of the job itself.
So if knowledge is unbundled, what's next? The credential. A degree has always just been a signal, a shortcut for employers to guess that you can do the work. But what happens when they can check your skills directly, instantly, and for almost no cost? When they can see what you've actually built? Well, that degree starts to look a lot less like a passport and more like a preference.
All of this leads to a huge change in how it feels to be a learner. It's not about you passing through a rigid system anymore. It's about having a system that works for you all the time.
And here's something that I think most people are missing. A huge barrier to learning for so many people isn't a lack of intelligence, it's emotion. It's the fear of looking stupid, the fear of having to ask again. An AI tutor has zero judgment. It removes that fear. And that alone is going to unlock a massive wave of confidence and capability in people who just thought they weren't good at something. So this is the new metaphor we should be using. Education stops being a stage of life you graduate from. It becomes your own personal operating system. It's always on, always there, and always updating to keep you sharp.
And when that happens, the whole structure changes. Right now, a teacher has to teach to the middle of the class. But with AI, the pace becomes completely personal. Assessment isn't just one big test, it's a constant feedback loop on your progress. We stop processing students like a factory line, and we start cultivating individuals.
Okay, so if knowledge and credentials are being unbundled, does the university just disappear? No, but its whole purpose has to change fundamentally. It has to start focusing on the things that AI can't do. This is where we see its new mission. An AI can give you answers, but it can't give you purpose. The university of the future needs to be a place for the messy, deeply human stuff. Finding your tribe, figuring out who you are, building character by struggling with hard things, and learning to work with other people on problems that matter. This means their value proposition has to totally flip.
The university that thrives won't be bragging about its famous professors anymore. It'll be bragging about its crucibles, these high-stakes, intense experiences where students have to solve real problems, where they can fail safely but learn powerfully from it. That's how you build character.
So let's bring this all down to a personal level. What does this huge shift actually mean for you, right now? How are you supposed to navigate this new world?
Here's the key. The single most important skill you can have is no longer about what you know, it's about your learning velocity. How fast can you learn something new, realize you're on the wrong track, pivot, and try again? When the world is changing this fast, the ability to learn, unlearn, and relearn is the ultimate superpower.
Because of this, the old questions we used to ask are now actually dangerous. Asking, what major will keep me safe, is asking a question from a world that doesn't exist anymore. There is no safe harbor when the entire landscape is shifting beneath our feet.
So here's a new, much better strategy. 1. Pick a field you genuinely care about, enough to really go deep. 2. Find the hard, messy problems inside that field that most people shy away from. And 3. Use AI as your co-pilot, your partner, to help you build, test, and learn at a speed that was just never possible before.
Ultimately, the way you prove what you can do is going to shift. When anybody can use AI to generate a polished report, that report ceases to be proof of anything. The only honest proof left is what you create. Your portfolio of projects, the things you've actually built and shipped, that's going to be your new transcript.
And that leads us to the final and most critical question. In a world where machines can generate answers instantly, the rarest things are having a direction, having taste, having courage. So forget the old map. The real question you have to ask yourself now is this. If the barriers to learning and creating are falling away, what do you truly want to build? Whatever your answer is, that's your real curriculum now.